My name is Caitlyn Lamb. I'm a freshman here at MMA. I'm from Cushing, Maine, and I'm studying marine engineering operations. I love the small community it had and the hands-on learning experience that I could have here, so that's kind of why I chose to come. I've never been overseas, so I'm excited to go overseas and definitely do the hands-on aspect of the whole school. I'm definitely more excited to go to Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Ireland, so I'm getting to do this and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see the new cultures and everything, so just go out and explore with my friends and stuff. Doing the real work, so going out on the ship and actually applying what I've learned here and being able to do it out there to give me the experience that I came here for. So I'm excited to just go out and be able to work through everything and learn that way. I've never been out to sea or anything. I've been on lobster boats and just that kind of stuff, but I've never actually been on a big ship to go out, so I'm excited for this. I've always kind of grown up around engines and stuff. My dad was working in the garage and worked on vehicles and engines my whole life, so I kind of saw everything. And I liked the hands-on. I've always wanted to work on the water, so that's one of the major reasons. But just being able to go out and do what I kind of grew up watching and learning, and I've lived on the water my whole life, so being able to do all that in my one job would be awesome. I'm excited to meet new people, and also I've never been to Texas either, so I'm excited to go see what Texas is like. But definitely meeting new people is probably my favorite part about going with Texas. After I graduate, I kind of want to work on oil rigs. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards after I get out of here. It's working on rigs and stuff. I love being on the lacrosse team. The girls are awesome, the culture is awesome, the coach is really flexible, and I've had so much fun on the team. It's kind of like a break from school, but it's really nice, and I enjoyed it a lot.
My name is Kellen. I'm a junior here at Maine Maritime Academy in the Marine Transportation Operations program, and I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico originally. On cruise, I will serve as Bravo Company Commander as well as a cadet deck training rate. In the role of Bravo Company Commander, I'll be in charge of keeping the entire Bravo Company accountable. On Texas's training ship, there are 8 companies rather than 4 like we have here. There's 4 deck and 4 engine, so I will be responsible for making sure that all of the Bravo deck students are keeping their living spaces clean, staying accountable, showing up on time, and things like that. As a cadet deck training rate, I'll be assisting the professors on cruise during our training days and hopefully teaching some skills to the freshmen throughout the sea term. I came to Maine Maritime originally because my parents took me on cruises when I was a kid. Being from a landlocked state, that was sort of my only exposure to seafaring or seagoing career. And a couple cruises was enough to put the bug in me to pursue a career at sea. And I did my research, looked at a few different academies, and once I visited Maine Maritime, I knew that this was the school for me. I have a couple thoughts on what I want to do after I graduate. My top choice right now is probably to join a union like the American Maritime Officers Union and work on either car carriers or oil tankers, but I'm open to new opportunities and really just want to get as much good experience as I can. I think that cruising with Texas will certainly bring a lot of challenges. This is something that really has not been done before, and as such there might be some points that are more stressful than they would be if we were just cruising only as Maine Maritime. For example, flying down and having to move onto the ship in very short order rather than having a slow move in at the waterfront here. That will be challenging, and I think it'll be challenging also adapting to Texas's operating procedures and culture. However, I think it also brings opportunity to learn a lot about leadership, to grow and be better suited to work on ships in the future, having to go into this more dynamic and unknown environment. The thing I'm looking most forward to on this summer sea term is being able to further my seamanship skills and gain more seagoing experience from a managerial standpoint. Having sailed as a freshman on the training ship State of Maine and as a deck cadet on a liquefied natural gas tanker, I look forward to being able to use this third term at sea to really refine my leadership style, my seamanship skills, and become the best mariner that I can be prior to graduating after my senior year. I cadetshipped with a liquefied natural gas company called Energos Infrastructure. I was on board their natural gas tanker called Energos Princess. That was a very unique experience because up to that point, my only experience was on the training ship State of Maine, which has, 200 cadets and 50 crew members. But this ship only had about 30 crew members, including cadets. So I was able to become a lot more involved in day-to-day operations, learned a lot about navigation by standing watch on the bridge, and gained a lot of good experience in deck work with the bosun and ABs that were on board. I think within the Marine Transportation Operations major, a good outcome is refining navigation skills and learning how to place the concepts we've learned over the past 3 years into a managerial context. We spend a lot of time repeating topics and learning about things over and over again during the years preceding our junior cruise, but now is the time to actually begin applying them and thinking about how they could apply to different situations and use them as a manager like we will be when we graduate the academy.
My name is Trey. I'm from Gainesville, New York. My major is Marine Transportation Operations, and I'm a junior. What brought me to Maine Maritime was the very interesting industry that you can go in. I personally didn't know much about it before I came here, but I loved being outdoors and just being outside and on the water. And so I figured, why not give it a shot? It should be a lot of fun to come and try to be on the water. Like I said, I didn't know too much about the school before I came here, but I did know that when I'm on a ship, I probably would rather be able to see outside more often. And so being in the MTO side, on the deck side of the program, I would be able to be up in the bridge looking outside for the majority of my time on a ship. And I figured I would like that more than being down in the engine room. Before this, no, I only worked on, I'm a whitewater rafting guide at home, and so I've only worked on small rafts and recreational vehicles, but I've never worked on an actual ship here. But the idea of going across the ocean on a big steel vessel, it sounded really cool to me, and it's very fascinating to me. Within the regiment, I do hold a leadership position. It is the Alpha Company Commander, and I also am a part of the SAC program, the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. It just helps lead our athletic teams and give them guidance, and I'm also a part of the men's lacrosse team here. Being an Alpha Company Commander during the sea term, it entails me keeping track of all the midshipmen within Alpha Company, so it's going to be about roughly 100 midshipmen, and just making sure they're following the rules, they're staying clean, and making sure they're able to learn in a good environment on board the vessel. Being able to ship on board the TS Kennedy with Texas A&M, I feel like it gives you a lot more, it's going to give me a lot more ability to learn from a different academy, maritime academy, and see how they operate, and also meet a bunch more people that are going to be going into the industry, so a lot more connections, and just being able to teach the freshmen and the class under me how to operate on a vessel. The main thing I'm looking forward to during the sea term is to learn how another maritime academy operates other than Maine Maritime, and also getting to know a bunch of the Texas A&M kids and seeing their view on shipping. I think an important outcome for sea term is for the juniors to be able to start to get comfortable with standing a watch on board a vessel and gaining new ways to lead a group and teach people under them. So when they go out in the industry, it's beneficial and they're prepared. And then for the freshmen, I think it's a great learning opportunity to understand how to operate on board a vessel, because the freshmen here at Maine Maritime this year haven't been able to get on board a vessel yet. And so I think it's going to be a great learning opportunity for them to get comfortable being on board a vessel. The port I'm looking forward to the most is probably Halifax, Nova Scotia. The reason for that is because I'm from New York, so I am familiar with New York. And then during my freshman cruise, we actually have gone to Belfast, Ireland. It's a very cool port in Belfast, but I think going to Halifax will be very cool, and it's gonna be actually my first time going to Canada, so I'm very excited for that. Last year I went with ARC, American Roll-On Roll-Off Carrier, for my cadet shipping. I boarded on in Galveston, Texas, actually, and then we went down the east coast of South America. We hit Mexico, Panama, Colombia, and Brazil, and it was a very cool experience. We got to carry a bunch of different kind of cargo, not just cars, but farm vehicles and different trailers and trains. It was a very fascinating experience, and it really is eye-opening to see what different things are out in the industry and what is capable of these ships that I'm going to be working on for a long period of time.
My name is Sienna. I am from Brewster, Massachusetts. I am Marine Engineering Operations. I was Alpha Company AOIC Assistant Officer in Charge this past fall, so I'll be cruising with the freshmen that I trained and led all through RPT and Mug Month. I'm looking forward to being on the Kennedy and being on a steam plant, which I've never been on before. Will be extremely cool, so I'm very excited about that. Our duties will be to stand a watch. I don't know how they're setting it up, whether it's 4 hours of watch, 8 hours of rest during work days, but we'll be doing a watch. The Kennedy is a lot different than the TSOM. It's steam instead of diesel, so they'll probably have a certain steam round that we have to do, taking pressures and temperatures, making sure that the plant is running the way it should. I'm definitely looking to learn more about steamships. Like I said, I've never been on one, and we did do a mini pre-cruise, which is like learning about the ship. So we have the Kennedy manual with us, and we had the Maine Maritime walkthrough videos that they gave to Texas. So we did get to see what the steam plant looked like, and it does look really cool. It's a lot bigger than TSOM, so that's really cool. And hopefully, if I did want to get on a tanker, more like an LNG tanker, most of those are steam. So then that would prepare me for a future job, possibly. During cadet shipping, I worked for Edison West Offshore on a offshore supply vessel, particularly one of their mud boats. So we brought all the supplies that the rigs need, whether that was pipe casing or mud to pack down the wells, cement to build the wells, fuel oil for their engines. So when I first got on the ship, I was definitely very scared and I didn't know what to do, but my crew was very helpful, and eventually they just started leaving me alone to do my own work, to do the rounds by myself. So getting that sense of confidence definitely helped me, and getting that sense of, okay, there's no one to hold my hand anymore, like there kind of is at school. It definitely helped me gain that confidence to be on my own. And that'll definitely help for when we're standing our own watches once we get our licenses. My engine professors are all really, really great. All of them either were shoreside in a plant, or a lot of them worked offshore on different vessels. So there's so much different experience and knowledge just brought together that they definitely just help you get to where you need to be. And even if you're not doing so great in classes, they'll help you and get you through it no matter what.
Hi, my name is Aiden Estri. I'm a class of 2026 Marine Transportation student, and the thing I'm most looking forward to is getting an anchor and compass tattoo in Belfast, Ireland.
Alright, howdy, my name is Stephen Wales. I'm class of 2026 Marine Transportation. This is my last cruise. I'm looking forward to wrapping it up, passing license, getting out in the industry, as well as visiting Ireland, Halifax, as well as New York this cruise. Thank you.
Howdy, my name's Ryan Hall. I'm in the class of 2028, and the thing I'm most excited for this summer sea term is the Giants Causeway in Ireland.
Howdy, my name is Logan, class of 28, transportation major. And this summer I'm most excited for just exploring Ireland with all my friends.
Howdy, my name is Lauren Vickers. I'm class of 2027. I'm a marine bio license option major, and I'm looking forward to traveling to Ireland with all of my friends on cruise.
Howdy, my name is JT Roma. I'm a deck cadet. I am class of 2026. One of the things I'm looking forward to this summer is going to Ireland and Canada. Those are two countries I've never been to, and they seem really, really cool. I'm really excited for Ireland and just to explore Europe. You know, I've never been there, so I'm really excited to go do that. And as a senior, I'm really excited to actually be able to take charge and do more as a person on this boat than I was able to do my freshman. So I'm really excited to do that.
Howdy, I'm Josiah McPherson. I'm a marine transportation major, class of 2028, and the thing I'm most excited for this summer is celebrating my 19th birthday in Halifax.
Howdy, my name is Jacob Granberry. I'm class of 2026. I'm a marine transportation major, and looking forward this year to going to Europe. That'll be cool. The first time in a couple years we've been to Europe. I'm also looking forward to being a senior on board and getting to really run a lot of the operations. It'll be a good time.
My name is Austin Kane. I am a MART major, and I'm class of 2026. And I'm most excited for is going to Ireland. I've never been.
Howdy, my name's Ashton Hinojosa. I'm part of the Fighting Texas A&M class of 2027. I'm a maritime transportation major, and I'm most excited for the trip to New York as I get to see the Statue of Liberty as we go by it. I think that'd be really cool. Thanks. Dig 'em.
Hi, my name is Andrew Dameron. I'm a senior in class of 25, marine transportation major, and the thing I look forward to most is traveling all the foreign ports with all my friends.
Howdy, my name is Aiden Estri. I'm a class of 2026 Marine Transportation student, and the thing I'm most looking forward to is getting an anchor and compass tattoo in Belfast, Ireland.
My name is Tyler Kenny. I'm from Scarborough, Maine, a marine engineering operations major in the class of 2028. I would say I'm just looking forward mostly to traveling around with my peers, getting a good learning experience and learning new things. For the most part, I do feel prepared, yeah. It's definitely a change and will be something to adapt to, but I'm excited. I think with my major, learning the systems aboard a ship and getting a good hands-on experience will be very strong for when we graduate and get into the workforce, and will help us out a lot in our career. Traveling on the ship will be fun and chaotic, and I think that will be part of the fun. We'll be figuring things out as we go together. The training beforehand in Texas will be good. I am excited to meet new people. I think going with Texas will be a fun experience, meeting some kids from down there. I chose MMA mostly because of the hands-on experience, and I was really interested in engineering, and I like the career and kind of opportunities it sets you up with. I've really enjoyed my experience here so far, and I'm excited for the summer sea term and what the next 3 years have. So my dad went to Maine Maritime, so that was part of the reason I ended up coming here, and it's also helped out a lot getting some of the history in the past, and he's helped me understand and know some things about like what will be coming in the future and what to expect.
So my name is Abigail. I'm a freshman in the MTO department, so Marine Transportation Operations. I'm a decky, and then I'm a freshman. I'm from Sebago, Maine, so I'm not too far from home, just about 3 hours. I picked Maine Maritime for a lot of reasons. When I graduated high school, I graduated a year early, so I was only 16, and I didn't want to go too far from home, but just enough that I could still get, the college experience, but be able to go home on the weekends. So I chose Maine just because when I came into Ord here, the people here were just so kind and welcoming, and they really wanted to know things about me. They wanted to talk to me and tell me about their programs, tell me about what they had here. And I feel like when I toured other schools, I didn't have as much of like an extremely welcoming experience. Like I did, but when I came here, they treated me like I was already a student here, that I was already a member of their community, and I really appreciated that. And I also was recruited by the swim coach here, so that was also a big factor in my decision. So originally I actually applied as an engineer, and the summer before high school I was working on the Louis R. French, which is a schooner in Camden, Maine. And a schooner is just, it's like a large sailboat, and that experience was pretty life-changing. There was no engine on that ship. It's one of the few schooners that has no engine out of Camden. And just being on deck and being on the water, I realized that I definitely wanted to be above the deck. I wanted to see the ocean every day, steer the ship, to do everything like that. And I decided to switch my major and come in as a deck major. I'm definitely nervous that I've never been on a large ship like this before, really. And I think that it's going to be really different because we've done our pre-cruise online. So of course, we're learning all the information, and we're still well versed. We have the Texas training manual, all of those things, but we've never really been on a ship like this. So we're going to be stepping onto that ship for the first time in most of our lives. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but I know that like our juniors they're working really hard to prepare us as much as they can. And it's also going to be different for them because many of them also haven't been on the ship. They've been on a ship, but not the Kennedy. And every ship is different, so for them it'll be a small adjustment, for us it'll be a bit of a bigger one. But I'm more excited than nervous, I would say. What I'm looking forward to most is to wake up every morning and be on the water. It's my favorite thing ever, is to wake up every morning and see the ocean. And that's one of my favorite parts about Castine, is that our dorm building overlooks Penobscot Bay. And I think to see the ocean, the open water every single day is going to be incredible. But I'm also really excited for our final port, which is Portland, Maine. A lot of people aren't super excited for that one, but being from Maine, I'm so excited for my family to be able to see me hopefully man the rails and to pull into port as a mariner. I think it'll be a really cool experience. I think the most important thing for deck majors is just the hands-on experience, Simulators can do a lot, and we have some state-of-the-art simulators at this school that are some of the best that you can find, but nothing can truly replicate being on a ship and being at the helm. And you're responsible for everyone on that ship when you're driving. And I think that's just so cool. And since it's something I've never done, I'm just so excited for that aspect. I think that I'm going to learn so much from it. So I'm a bit in between a couple of things. Originally when I came in, I thought I wanted to do cargo, but I've been leaning a bit more towards tankers recently. But it's all kind of up in there. I definitely want to ship out, though. And so I'm excited for the cadet shipping bill that's next year to see what different companies are offering. And the career fair also is, when you talk to the companies, they help you a lot with deciding, do I want to go into tankers? Do I want to go into cargo? Things like that. So it's a little up in the air right now, but I think after C-term, I'll be closer to making a decision. I'm so excited for C-term.
My name is Patrick McGrath. I'm a junior. I'm from Brownfield, Maine. I'm a Marine Transportation's operations major. I'm the regimental training officer right now and one of the cadet coxswains for the TSOM. As a coxswain, traditionally we're in charge of the lifeboats and like deck maintenance and whatnot, but this year it's a little different on the Kennedy. So I'll be a safety rate in charge of firefighting equipment, lifeboats, things like that. As a training officer, I'm in charge of planning RPT and Mug Month, and I'm in charge of all the mugs pretty much until they're released for pre-cruise next year, and they're handed over to the deck rates. I think it's a great opportunity because I'll get 3 vessels under my belt before I graduate, which is fairly uncommon compared to the past where it's just TSOM and your cadet ship. So I might actually get 4 ships if I get to go on the NSMV in the next winter cruise. And I think it's a good opportunity to meet other people in the industry, kind of learn what their program's about, how they do things. Probably set me forward a little bit, give me a good advance when I go out and I have to meet all these people again and I work with them in the future. Because I think Texas has a lot of deck majors, so I'll probably have to get very familiar with them in the rest of my career. I picked Maine Maritime because I'm from Maine. I didn't really want to go too far, and the school's a really good reputation. I worked on a schooner in high school, and so I kind of was interested in the deck aspect and the seamanship aspect of it. I think it's really kind of like a romantic versus classical view, where a lot of the romantics go deck and a lot of people this classical view go engine. And I find myself to be in the romantic category. Hopefully I'll be a 3rd mate upon graduation, go work. I would like to sail to at least chief mate. I want to work on tankers. I'd like to get on the new LNG tanker that Crowley has, American Energy. I cadet shipped with Energos Infrastructure on a liquid natural gas carrier flagged out of the Marshall Islands. I had the opportunity to sail all over the world. I got on in Singapore, sailed to Texas, went down to Brazil, Mexico, Jamaica. It was a very interesting experience. I was one of 4 or 5 Americans on board, all of which were cadets from Maine Maritime Academy. So I got to experience a lot of different cultures and a lot of different backgrounds, and that was very interesting. I'm looking forward to being able to teach the freshmen because I found it very valuable when I was a freshman on my first cruise to have the upperclassmen kind of lean on and provide me some guidance, because it'll be their first time at sea, and where I had the opportunity to go stand watches on the TSOM and familiarize myself with the ship, this will be the first time that they get to go on a vessel like that. So it'll be really interesting for them, and I just want to make sure I'm there to support them.
My name is Vladimir. I am a current freshman here from Mill Valley, California. I'm in the Marine Transportation Operations program. So what brought me to Cassian, Maine was the MTO department, being that we have an excellent waterfront and I want to be on the East Coast for my life, and I figured going to college out here is a pretty good first step to do that. So far, you know, there's ups and downs, but Maine is absolutely stunning. I'm from California, so we don't really have seasons. We have sun and then rain. Out here, you know, I get the snow, I get the rain, I get the sun. So it's absolutely gorgeous, and the academics are rigorous, but they're well worth it. I came here thinking that I was kind of thinking cargo and transatlantic crossings, and then over the summer I worked in Alaska for a native tribe, and the captain I worked for worked on yachts. And me and him had some good conversations, and I've decided I want to go into yachting after my academic career. I worked on a 83-foot ferry in a town of 236 people. So my experience was pretty good. I didn't necessarily live on the boat, but I lived in a crew house with all my other coworkers. So, you know, you wake up in the morning, you're making eggs in the morning, and your captain's right there. It's quite a different experience. And if you translate that to what like summer cruise is, you're living, you're working, academics and just on the boat for 60 days straight with friends and also kids that you've never met before, especially in the summer sea term since we're cruising with Texas. But I think that being able to have that experience of being away from family in such a segregated place, being in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, is gonna make this experience and transition to summer cruise a little easier for me. I'm looking forward to actually getting like real experience on deck watch and manning the helm. That's something that I haven't been able to do that much. Just being able to be a deckhand, you're not up in the helm in the bridge that often, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think that there's definitely a lot more logistical issues, and it's definitely affected what ports we're going to. Since we're cruising on a ship that's now like owned by Texas or manned by Texas, they decide what ports we're going to and kind of how the whole summer cruise is going to be run. And from what I heard, Maine Maritime does an excellent job at that, so it's going to be interesting to see how MMA has worked with Texas in shaping what the 2 different cruises are going to look like two different cruises being MMA cruise and Texas cruise, and how those are going to blend and what style that's going to be in. I think the most important outcome is just getting that experience of just being out in the middle of the ocean. You know, you're going to be like 500 miles offshore. It could be cloudy, it could be sunny out, but regardless, you're going to see absolutely nothing except water. I'm looking forward to Nova Scotia. I heard that when you're coming into the port, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it just seems like a scenic place, and I want to experience that.